calavera, mira, mira, calavera. Dale 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 calavera, mira, mira, calavera.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here again to watch Tarot Card Comedy. It's me again, Irma Ruiz. I will be your hostess for tonight and for every night or day, depending on when you're watching this, all right? Unless I die and then Pete Munoz from San Jose, California decides to take over. Say what's up, Pete.
What's up? How's it going? How you guys doing?
Thank you for being here with us today.
Heck yeah,
So
thanks for having
excited
me.
to have you here. How you been doing during this pandemic?
I feel like I'm busier than ever. I feel like I'm the only one doing anything sometimes, you know?
No, yeah, I do. I see that you're extremely busy. What have you been doing? I know what you've been doing, but tell the audience what you've been doing to keep yourself busy during this pandemic, because I know California right now is like cut off like from the rest of the world. Tell us.
Yeah. I mean, even the day before they shut everything down, I had a big show down in Santa Maria. Shut down. Boom. So I didn't want to do Zoom for a while. I was like, it's not the same. It's not real, but obviously it's not real. But what was real to begin with, you know? So I just started doing Zoom shows. I've been doing Zoom shows as many as I can. The cool thing is people in New York are doing them. People in Texas are doing them. So you can jump a show at 5 o'clock, 5, 6, 7.
Get on shows with European shows. You know what I mean? So that's cool. I've made a lot of connections now that, this whole Zoom shows have started. I made connections in New York, Michigan, Chicago. So it's been pretty awesome for me. So I was able to meet a lot of people, but luckily Texas is slowly opening back up. We've found a few loopholes to where, as we understand now, as long as they're serving food, I guess nobody can get the COVID, So we're able to put on comedy shows. But I know in some places, like in Las Vegas, right now at this time, we're September 2020, they're still not allowing comedy shows, even as entertainment. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty. People can go eat, but people cannot watch entertainment, which is super weird. Okay, So let me just tell you real quick, Pete, what we do here. What I do is I pick cards out of this tarot card deck, and we kind of just let the cards lead the conversation. Okay, so I'm going to start off with 3, and if we have to do more, we'll do more. And usually we do more. Do more. I'm like 5 years old. Do. I just got a thumbs down from my cameraman. Bully. All right. So let's see what your first card is. All right. First card. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Emotional and mental conflict. So your mind is telling you to do one thing, but your heart is telling you to completely do the opposite. Do you have anything going on in your life right now that has anything to do with this? Whoa. I mean, if you want to talk about it, you can, but if you don't want to, don't.
I mean, I always do.
Especially being a comedian, right?
I know, there's always something, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough card right there. The 3 of Swords.
It is. And, I know you're a dad, and I'm a mother also. I'm married. And I think, like, for me, if this were my card, I would be like, like, comedy does kind of tear me away from home.
For me, I know exactly how that is. It's like whenever you get a call, hey, can you do this show? What do you say right away? Heck yeah, I'm there right away. But then I have alternate weekends with my son. So I have him. I don't have him this week, but I have him next week. But I got booked for a show next week. So it's like, what do I do? Do I say no?
Oh, wait. When did all this happen? Alternate weekends. Is this a new thing?
I guess sort of. I don't really display it much, but yeah,
okay.
my son and his mom, we haven't been seeing each other for over a year, about a year. But we're still good with each other.
Good.
It's just that's my instinct is just do the show, say yes. Because what happens if you say no? They're not going to book you again. Mm-hmm. They're going to go to the next person. They might like someone else that other guy brought. So
just take him and put him in the green room.
my heart always said, I know. My heart always says yes to shows, yes to shows. I'll be in Vegas next month. I mean, you just said that they're not even doing shows, but I'm like, let's go. So for me, it's always do the show because that's how I pay for my son to live. That's how we survive. Like any money, you take in any kind of money, no matter what. So my mind is always like, yes, work first, but then I got to stop and think, oh man, who's gonna have my son that day? What do I have to do to make that work? Do I have somebody watch my son? I hate asking anybody to watch my son.
Yeah.
My son, I'll watch him. That's my responsibility. I don't like to be like, hey, could my sister watch him? And even though she asked a few times, it's only because I really, really needed somebody to.
Yeah. And how old is he now?
He'll be 3 on Friday.
But those eyelashes, woo, they're like you have to be careful around this kid because I feel like, he's going to start a hurricane or a tornado or something.
Yeah. Sometimes when I wash his hair, the water will be in the lashes. And
that's crazy. Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay, let's do your next card. Are you ready for your next card? Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Ba-da-ba-bam. That's interesting. You were just talking about being a dad, and it's a card of a strong masculine energy. Come on. What do you think? Or do you feel masculine sometimes?
All the time, especially when you're tired. You're not supposed to be tired. The dad's not supposed to be tired. I'm always tired. I got my long socks on right now. So for my legs, for my legs, to keep my legs warm and stretched out,
Are they fireproof?
Yeah, everything has to be fireproof now.
I know that's.
But no, I mean, for me, I'm never allowed to be tired. I like on a Sunday if I just want to be by myself. Nope, get up, let's go. We gotta this, we gotta do that. We gotta go party. Always like that.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff do you have coming on? Going. Wait, well you mentioned Vegas earlier. What's going on in Vegas?
I'll be with Tom Baum on.
Oh, Tom Baum, nice.
I think the 22nd of October.
Does he do the psychedelic? He does a psychedelic.
Yes, but I'm not doing the psychedelic because I don't do drugs. I don't even smoke weed.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not doing. He goes, yeah, you can do the show, but you gotta do mushrooms or acid. I go, I've never done either one of those, so I'm not gonna do that. And then
I don't know how you can do drugs and like actually stand. You'd be like, woo, mushrooms. Isn't that like a thing of the 70s? I don't know. I guess it's back. You know how they say like fashion like comes back around. I guess mushrooms one of those things. I don't know. I'm old. I don't know about any of that shit. Okay, let's do your next card. Let's do the next card. Failure. Maybe you should not go to Vegas or don't fly an airplane. Don't go on an airplane. Yeah. So this card is a card of failure. Oh no, I don't like these. Do over. Don't worry, like I had to mention it in every single one of my shows. This is a French game. Nobody takes it serious. The French are going to boycott me. I eat French fries. Yeah, so this is a card of failure. What do you think about this? Tell me about a time when you've ever felt like you failed at something in your life.
I know a lot of good people that are quitting stand-up and just working, And I've talked to them, hey, come do the Zoom. No, it's the same. I don't feel the same. I've stopped already. I've slowed down. I've lost my edge. And I'm like, man, see how easy it is?
It's the survival of the funniest.
And I was talking to another comic, and he said, you can tell who the hobbyists are. You can tell the guys that just do it for fun or whatever. Like, I don't know how to quit. I wouldn't know how to quit. Even the couple weeks or maybe a month that I wasn't doing Zoom shows, I still felt like, don't worry, things are going to open in a couple weeks. We're going to be back. We're going to be back to normal, But now I didn't want to do Zoom shows, and my son's mom goes, you should just make your show the best one possible that you can.
And it's one of the funnest.
Last night we had a theme. It was worst set possible theme, and everybody did their worst set, And it just kept going. So nobody felt different, Nobody felt out of place. But I think that's what it is right now. People are feeling like failures because they're like, man. Like, what else am I going to do? I had something going with stand-up, and now everything is completely, there's open mics that are outdoors. There's one tonight. There's an outdoor open mic. I'm not going to that, I'm not gonna risk getting sick and bring that home to my mom or my son or
Yeah.
anybody that could, catch it.
Here in Texas, things have kind of, I mean, everybody's still extremely careful. I think we've just adapted to the new ways.
I feel like everybody in the South Bay had it at the beginning of January. All the comics in our area were sick. Everybody was sick, and they stopped showing up to mics and stuff like that. But I was really sick in January, and I
Yeah.
know a bunch of other
Maybe you
comics were
should go
too.
get tested for the antibodies. Maybe you probably had it,
Yeah,
And they're saying that you can get it again, but I don't know. I
yeah,
feel a little bit more free now, but I'm still worried about other people who are still fearful. I still wear my, like, if I didn't have to wear my mask, I probably wouldn't wear my mask.
yeah,
But I still wear it because I want to be respectful towards other people and stuff. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the thing, my mask and washing. Of course, everybody should have been washing their hands in the first place, and
yeah.
probably everybody, all the comedians, probably should have been putting on the little microphone condoms. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I think that kind of stuff is never gonna go away.
No.
I
Yeah.
think comedians are just gonna buy bags of the microphone covers and just carry it with them all the time.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I
be
did a
a
sh-
regular thing.
I did a show in Sacramento at Vince's, and the mic was there. I didn't even touch it. I was away from it. I was like, talking at it. I stayed away. I didn't even touch it. And
Yeah.
I look back from Oasis. You know how they sing? Like I was like that. I was staying away from the mic.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so let's do the next one. That was a pretty good one. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Next card. Ooh, breakthrough and mental clarity. I feel like you were talking about something and we pulled a card of what you were talking about. You're supposed to pull the card and then you should talk about it. But
Yeah.
mental clarity and breakthrough. So I like that one. But let's pick another card. Or do you have something to say about this one?
I think a lot of the good comics that have a big foundation and a big love for stand up won't let this break them. A lot of comics that so I ran track and cross country in high school, and that prepared me, I think, for stand up now, to not let a bad set ruin your day, or not to let nobody laugh affect you. Like I'm so mentally stable inside. I can talk myself out of anything. I don't get down on myself. I don't have that, oh, I bombed tonight, let me go on Facebook so people could say you'll be fine. I don't need that. I can heal on my own, because I've been through so much. I've been open micing everywhere, backyards, breast awareness parties. I've done
Yeah.
every type of show, to be able, and like I said, I've always wanted to be like a Swiss Army knife, to have all these tools to help me for whatever situation that I can get through.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hear you, and you have to agree. I mean, tell me what you think about this. That a lot of comedians, they do have like mental health issues.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And maybe they're not into drugs, or alcohol, and comedy is their drug. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then you pull that away from them, and they just crash.
Yeah.
They crash. Actually, today I literally, right before we started this episode, I got a message from a friend of mine about a local San Antonio comedian who had just committed suicide.
I heard about that. I heard
Yeah.
about that last night, right?
I
last
just
thing?
heard about it right now.
That was his last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a sad situation. You know what I mean? But I feel, because he had kind of dropped from the comedy scene, and I see that. I feel like there are some people that that if they drop, you need to be careful. You need to have I still have some friends that kind of dropped from the scene, and I'll still every now and then, how are you doing? How are you doing? Because if it were me, I would probably have to be sent to a mental institution. You know what I mean? If I didn't have comedy, if I didn't have that laughter, I would. It really is. It's therapy to me. Like I don't know. I really don't talk about it too much. But my mother, she passed. And that's why I think we had talked about.
You told me you were going to
Yeah.
go away from it, but yeah.
And the day that she was buried, I went and I did a show.
Yeah.
That was and I remember like telling some family members, and they just kind of looked at each other like, she's really going to? And I'm like, yes, you cry, I go perform.
Yeah.
Okay, that is people's laughter is what heals me. You know what I mean? So how do we even start talking about this? Got all emotional and
Funny
stuff.
you bring that up. The day that my grandma passed away, I was headlining a show with this guy named Sam Meeker, and the flyer said not to be missed. So my grandma passed away around noon, and the show that I was doing, I was headlining the show. If I would have had a regular set, maybe wouldn't have shown. But I was headlining the show, and it was inside of a boxing ring, a big old boxing ring.
Yeah.
The flyer said not to be missed, so I took those words as my grandma telling me, "You are not gonna miss that show." So she passed away. I want to say between noon and about 2 o'clock. Around that time was the hardest time for us. And then my uncle David, her son, he goes, I'll be there. Don't worry, I'll go with you. I'll be there. We're gonna do that show, and did that show. Felt fine and everything. At that point, I said to myself, "What can I do? There's nothing else that I can do. Everything's gonna happen no matter what. There's nothing that I can do, you know."
Yep.
And so then the same thing when my grandpa passed away. I was doing a show with Sam Meeker, and I said, "I'm never doing shows with Sam Meeker anymore. Every time I do shows with this guy,
I need to look this guy up.
my relatives are dying, you know." But it was weird. It was my grandma and my grandpa both headlining shows with Sam Meeker, and I go, "Hey man, don't book me on no more shows." I got no more relatives. Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah.
That is super weird.
But it was just this thing where my grandpa taught me a lot about hard work, and and it was just, hey, you continue what you're doing, you keep working,
Yeah.
I mean, I was sad, I was hurt, I was crushed, but that's what I had to do to get myself to pick myself back up again,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. God. Sam Meeker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look that guy up.
Yeah. Tell him I said that.
I'll make a flyer that says, "Do not headline for this guy if you have any sick
relatives are sick."
That's funny. Okay, next card. Oh my god. All right. Oh, let me see. The card of potential. I like this.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So besides Vegas, like what other things do you have coming up? Like tell me more about your potential. Like what do you feel? Do you feel like you've reached your potential?
No, nope. I'll never be satisfied ever with how good I am getting or how better I am getting at stand-up. I don't worry about being better than somebody else. I worry about being better than myself yesterday. Tomorrow I need to be better P. Munoz comic than I was today. Even if and I tell people all the time, one word can change an entire joke, that can change an entire set, can change everything. It's as simple as that, And when I first started, some of us have comedy moms. I had a comedy mom named Michelle BMW, and she would tell me, "You have so much potential," and she would say that to me. And I've always said that, like, you want to be funny and you want to be good at stand-up, because you can write a really good joke but not know how to tell it.
Right.
You can have a really, really funny joke and just ruin it over and over again. Or you can have a couple of words, and if you're really good at stand-up, you can make those couple of words turn into a really good joke. So you want to get both of those to meet, and then when that happens, that's when your phone starts ringing, because people say all the time, "My uncle's real funny, he should do stand-up." Okay, get him up here. What happens? He gets up there and he goes, fucking blah, 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 and okay, yeah, let's pretend that not everybody who's funny should do stand-up, and also not everybody who's good at stand-up is funny. It's this crazy thing where you have to be able to balance it and bring them together, because not all, we all know a lot of funny guys, but are just horrible comics.
That is on point.
Yeah.
That is like absolutely correct. Like yesterday, I had a friend of mine here yesterday, and we had just watched a show at a club here in San Antonio, and we were talking about like some of the comedians and how they had some great jokes, but the way that they presented them to the audience was just so bland.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that's funny. Like, be proud of your joke. Like, tell people, like, you mean it. Have some voice when you say it. You know what I mean? But you're absolutely right. Like, you can have some great jokes, but present it horribly, or present nothing. And you know what I'm saying? You're right. You have to have, like, it has to be like that perfect mix all the time. And that, I think a lot of people don't understand that, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to tell me the exact age. About how old are you?
I'm 39.
You're 39.
Yeah.
And do you feel like comedy is changing? Like as far as like the type of comedy? Because what I'm seeing a lot, and the I don't want to hurt my cameraman's feelings, but like in the millennial age of comedy, I don't know why they speak like in a monotone voice. Not all of them, but maybe quite a bit.
You know why I do that, right?
Well, you don't do comedy. No, I'm talking about you do not speak in a monotone voice. But a lot of comedians, when they're up on stage, I've seen some comedians do it and like kick ass, you know, but then others I'm like, oh, if you had just had a little inflection in that one word, it would have been awesome.
It's kind of a trend, like Hannibal Buress talks like that, you know, where he just kind of just goes off, and it's kind of like real calm, but it's just like insult.
I'm about to go kill myself.
Yeah. Anthony Jeselnik, all of his jokes are like 4 minutes long, but he says like maybe 10 words, you know. He's got the long, you know. I wonder, you know, but sometimes I was telling another comic, I go, sometimes you'll hear comics talking, but they're just talking, you know? And it's like, you don't know if that's all they're missing is just that part where they're just getting comfortable with just speaking on stage, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's confidence is the most dangerous thing for a comedian, you know? Once they get that, it's over, you know? You can make anything work at that point.
Yep. Absolutely. That was actually a pretty interesting topic. That was great. All right. Okay, here, next card. So tell me, like, what do you got going on in your love life?
I've been seeing somebody recently. Yeah.
Is she a comic?
No.
Oh, good.
I tell everybody, don't date comics. Don't date comics.
Yeah. There's only enough room for one crazy.
Everybody says the same thing. I can handle you getting attention from all kinds of girls. You know, no, it never. No.
I don't think it has anything to do with. Are you ready for your next card, Mr. Pete Munoz from San Jose, California? And you know, let me tell you how I met Pete. So on our pilot episode, we had Mr. Al Gonzalez. If you watched that episode, he's actually who introduced me to Pete. And my husband was on a business trip in California. I asked Al, hey, do you know anybody that over there that I can kind of get on? And Pete hooked me up. I got to meet a whole bunch of, you know, awesome Californian comedians. So I really made some good friends. It was just one day that we hung out. And then Pete actually happens to be from San Antonio, where I'm based. And then he came down once, and I got him in at the casino over here. So
that was a year ago. That was fun.
Perfect timing.
That was so much fun. Yeah.
That was super fun. That was super fun.
That was an awesome room.
I know. And I think that might have been our last show there. Because then after that, they started working with another comedy troupe or something. I'm not. Well, if I did remember their name, I wouldn't say it. Huh. And you know what? I heard that casino's going bankrupt. I'm just saying brujeria works. I don't know. Somebody took my freaking.
That was so some weird. Good barbecue. That was some.
Either you go bankrupt or you die. That's so weird. So weird. Like one time, this guy, he was being mean to me on Facebook, and then he died in a motorcycle accident. Damn. Just saying, you want to die or go bankrupt? Yeah, keep fucking looking. Just kidding. Okay, next card. Pete's like, I'm scared. Next tarot card, ladies and gentlemen. Next one here. Wait, didn't we just do this one, King of Swords?
King of Swords? I don't think so.
No. Oh, no, we did the Ace of Swords. Do you say swords or swords?
Swords. Yeah.
You say swords? I include the W. I say swords, and everybody makes fun of me.
Pronounce it?
What?
You pronounce it the original French way.
Oh, this King of Swords.
That's an English accent.
Oh.
There we go.
The King of Swords.
Yeah.
I don't know what you were trying to do.
The card of learning. And that's funny because as comedians, we're always learning new things. Especially, like, golly, like, having to learn to adapt to this whole situation with doing Zoom shows. And a lot of comedians have, like you said, you can already tell which comedians are hobbyists and which ones like want to take it serious.
Yeah.
Like, you force yourself to learn new shit. I'll tell you what, and I'm sorry, I know we're interviewing you, but I remember when I was teaching, there was a situation with testing and all this and that. And I said, why are we doing it like this when we can do it like this? And you know what the excuse was? And I'll never forget it, and I'll hate it for the rest of my life, because that's the way it's always been.
There you go.
Worst advice, excuse ever. As soon as somebody says, because that's the way it's always been, I'm like, I am so taken over, bitch. You know what I mean? But isn't that crazy? You said this is learning, right, TJ? Learning. So what have you learned during this pandemic?
I've learned that I don't know shit.
I learned that I don't know shit.
I learned that, man, that things can change like that. You know, you have to.
Yeah.
You don't know like, you think you're in control, but man, I sometimes I feel like I'm not in control, you know, of what's going on. I don't know where my next show is going to be. So that's why I take every show, you know. Yeah, let's do it. Come on, cool, let's go. You know, aren't you afraid of getting sick? No, I'm not afraid of getting sick. I gotta do what I gotta do to stay sane, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Kind of off subject. You're Munoz. Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Do you do Spanish comedy?
No, that's
Is that something that you?
I let's see. I understand it more than I speak it.
Okay,
so
you're like me.
Yeah.
Because I've actually had people tell me, like, you need to go learn Spanish so you can do Spanish comedy. I'm like, dude, I would have to go live in Mexico to completely understand the language. There's like no way. Like, I barely know enough to, you know, order a raspa from the ice cream man. You know what I mean? That's the Spanish that I know. You know what I mean? It's just
it's like Gene Pompa has a joke. He goes, when my wife's dad moved here, he said, I used to work 3 jobs, you know, before when I came from Mexico. I used to work 3 jobs to pay for my family. He goes, well, if you would have spoke English, you would have only needed 1 job. You know?
Oh my God, that's funny.
Something like that. It's something along the lines of that. Yes. But I love Gene.
I don't know if I mentioned this in another podcast, but I get real upset sometimes at the fact that my parents didn't teach me. I mean, they taught me some Spanish, but not like fluent Spanish. And I get upset. I'm like, oh, I wish they would have taught me Spanish, so, you know, I could go out in public and speak Spanish, and somebody could tell me, stop speaking Spanish. This is America.
Yeah.
They took that from me. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I don't know if I had said that before. Have you heard me say that before? I don't know. I might have. You might have to cut that out. All right, Pete. Thank you so much for being with us today on Tarot Card Comedy. Can you please let the audience know where they can find you on social media?
Facebook, Pete Munoz. Instagram, PTR David 81. That's Peter David 81. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, same thing. PTR David 81.
All right. Thank you, Pete. And hasta luego. We'll see you next time. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Tarot Card Comedy. Until next time.